cost exceeding 24 million Omani riyals. A panel discussion in Muscat reviews the future of green economy and renewable energy in GCC countries. And the fourth conference of the General Federation of Oman's Workers reviews developing the Federation's works and elects the chairman and members of the Board of Directors for the coming 4 years. Thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. Nama Water Services Company launched a water sustainability system in the Governorate of Musandam at a cost of more than 24 million Omani riyals. The system included a project to supply water to 70 marine villages through 4 advanced vessels with a production capacity of 200 cubic meters per day for each vessel, which providing a strategic stockpile in each marine village sufficient for a period of not less than 24 hours. The desalination plant in the Wilaya of Khasab was opened. The desalination units in the Governorate was expanded with a production capacity of more than 18,000 cubic meters per day, according to the water demand plan until the year 2035. The ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Sayyid Ibrahim bin Said Al Busaidi, Governor of Musandam. His Excellency Sheikh Abdul Malik bin Abdullah Al Khalili, Chairman of State Council, received their Excellencies members of the 26th session of the GCC Supreme Council's Advisory Authority. The meeting focused on exchanging knowledge and expertise in various fields and sectors between GCC countries in order to develop joint work. The meeting also reviewed ways of enhancing GCC values and achieving social, cultural and tourism integration in recognition of the core significance of these sectors in the GCC joint work. The second meeting of the 26th session of the GCC Supreme Council's Advisory Authority was held in Muscat today. In its meeting, the authority discussed the reports from committees in charge of protection of Gulf values, consolidation of food and medicine supply chains, and promotion of tourism integration among member states. The Advisory Authority assessed the reports in preparation for submitting them to the forthcoming meeting of the GCC Summit. The meeting was held under the auspices of Honorable Dr. Ali bin Ahmed Al Aisai, Chairman of the GCC Advisory Authority for the current round. The third panel discussions to explore future prospects for the GCC Economic and Development Integration kicked off today. The event is hosted by the Sultanate of Oman, represented by the Ministry of Economy. The two-day event is entitled The Future of Green Economy and Renewable Energy in the GCC. The panel discussion deals with a number of working papers that cover a range of topics such as carbon neutrality, green economy, best practices to promote green investments, and the future of renewable energy in the GCC. The second day of the discussions panel comprises presentations and working papers on Oman's strategy for energy transition, the role of green hydrogen, prospects for investing and rationalizing natural resources to achieve economy sustainability, and applications of behavioral sciences in stimulating the rationalization of energy consumption. The panel discussion was attended by representatives of GCC countries as well as representatives of relevant public and private establishments in Oman. GCC Supreme Council's Advisory Authority assesses reports prior to summit. Sultan Qaboos University Council today held its third meeting for the academic year 2022-2023 under the auspices of Her Excellency Dr. Rahma bint Ibrahim Al-Mahruqiyya, Minister of Higher Education, Research and Innovation, Chairperson of the Council. His Highness Sayyid Dr. Fahad Al-Julanda Al-Saeed, Vice Chancellor of Sultan Qaboos University and Deputy Chairperson of the Council, was present at the meeting. The Council reviewed the progress of implementing various decisions and recommendations undertaken by the Council in the previous meeting. It also approved several decisions, namely updating the degree of Masters of Art in Arabic Language and Literature, among other decisions. The fourth conference of the General Federation of Oman's Workers was launched in Muscat. It stressed the need to harmonize laws and legislations to protect workers' rights and activate the trade union movement. The conference was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Mohammed Al-Saidi, Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs. Here is a report.
Legislations and regulations related to trade union organization and workers' rights to ensure a stable life for workers and their families are topics that top the agenda of the fourth conference of the Sultanate of Oman Workers' Union. The conference, in which a number of Arab and international organizations and trade unions participated, clarified through its institutional dialogue a number of objectives to protect workers and develop legislation and laws that preserve workers' rights and raise production levels in various service and economic sectors. The conference came out with recommendations anonymously approved by the participants and specialists, which is the need for further evaluation and review of the methods of organizing and trade union work and its efficiency, aiming to strengthen labor relations and ensure adequate protection for all workers, especially those working in new work patterns. The conference included the election of the chairman and members of the board of directors for the period from 2023 to 2027, where Nabhan bin Ahmed al-Battashi won the position of President of the Federation of Workers of the Sultanate of Oman, who will continue his active role in protecting workers' rights and promoting trade union work, while anticipating the issuance of the new labor law.
Today, the Parents' Council Symposium Community Partnership and Pioneering Roles in Education, organized by the Minister of Education, began at the Oman Convention and Exhibition Center with the participation of more than 580 participants, and it will last for 2 days under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Nasser Al-Harrasi, Minister of Information. The symposium includes 6 sessions, during which 10 working papers will be presented, all of which will review pioneering experiences and models at the local and international levels in activating parents' councils and community partnership, in addition to dialogue sessions with participants. The Parents' Council Symposium Community Partnership and Pioneering Roles in Education aims to enable parents' councils at different levels to reach best practices in activating their roles in enhancing communication between schools and society and enhancing integration between the school community and the local community in its various institutions. The Higher Committee for Shura Council's 10th term elections they held on a first meeting today. The committee discussed its preparations for the elections and the tasks it will carry out as per competencies stipulated in the law of Shura Council members' elections. The meeting was chaired by His Eminence Sheikh Al-Mukhtar bin Abdullah Al-Harthi, Vice President of the Supreme Court, head of the committee. Media Committee of the elections of Shura Council members for the 10th term held its first meeting for the year 2023. The committee discussed media plan to cover the elections of Shura Council members, in addition to preparing work plan to raise citizens' awareness on the new procedures for the elections. The committee got acquainted with the preparations of the elections as well as audio and visual media programs. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Mohammed bin Saeed Al Balushi and the Secretary of the Ministry of Information, head of the committee. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and yet to come in our news bulletin. The National Museum inaugurated its corner within Muscat International Airport. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Means of enhancing and strengthening joint Gulf work in the field of youth and voluntary work topped discussions of the 36th meeting for the Ministers of Youth and Sports of GCC countries. The meeting reviewed decisions of the Supreme Council in its 43rd session regarding a study on strengthening joint work towards digital transformation, modern technologies, and strategic plan for the works of the Committee of the Ministers of Sports and Youth at GCC countries. The meeting also discussed international cooperation in the field of youth joint work with regional and international organizations. The Telecommunications Regulatory Authority, in cooperation with the Civil Aviation Authority, launched the first trial of disaster warning text message service. The service is provided to citizens and residents in coastal wilayas of the Sultanate of Oman to ensure their safety. The new service allows quick communication on with the targeted audience in case of natural disasters that require evacuation to reduce potential risks. The wilaya of Al-Musuna in North Al-Batna is the first area in which was service tried, and gradually it will cover the rest of the coastal wilayas of the Sultanate of Oman. Now, to create rich experience for travelers in terms of cultural heritage and history, the National Museum inaugurated its corner within Muscat International Airport. Here is a full report by Ahmed Al-Busaidi.
Airports are an important reflection of any country's image and culture. On this basis, the National Museum inaugurated its corner in the departures hall within Muscat International Airport. The inauguration was attended by His Excellency Jamal bin Hassan al-Musawi, Secretary General of the National Museum, along with Sheikh Ayman bin Ahmed al-Husni, CEO of Oman Airports, and employees of both sides.
This fragment of the National Museum brings along with it an add-value experience to visitors of Oman and the transit passengers. Providing a first-hand experience of aspects of Oman's cultural heritage, from antiquity all the way to the present day. Here, besides the commercial add value, we have the cultural add value experience being brought up for the first time. An experience which we aim to extend to Salalah International Airport at a later stage as well.
The National Museum corner at Muscat International Airport is divided into several sections, most notably the Omani Khanjar or Dagger and the cultural fragrance scents, Oman and East Africa, the Debahod and Semed period. The corner includes 23 different artifacts that will be displayed for a period of 5 years, subjected to extension and renewal.
Those pieces of arts, they actually will market Oman to the tourist that comes to Oman, to the transfer passengers that doesn't go inside the country. They will look at those pieces. They will be probably attractive for coming back again to the country, and I'm sure that it will really make a better adding proposition to the passengers.
It's noteworthy of mention that promotion of cultural tourism through Muscat International Airport as the Sultanate of Oman's first gate with the world brings along a positive impact on the tourism sector within the country. As you use an airport to explore the world, so does the world have an opportunity to come to the Sultanate of Oman and explore the beauty, history and heritage of this country through the National Museum's corner at Muscat International Airport. For Oman TV, Ahmed bin Hilal Al-Busaidi, Muscat.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. There indeed, the museum finest antiques and other are there to narrate the history of the Sultanate of Oman that will be experienced by everyone who travel through Muscat International Airport. Thank you for that report. For the past 2 months, Indonesia-based environment activist Gary Benchurib has been living in a 12-square-meter tiny house constructed from 35,000 plastic bags sourced from Bali's polluted rivers. Here is a report on that.
Welcome guys to my recycled tiny home, all made from 35,000 plastic bags. On the outside, you've seen the plastics, but really in the interior, we're living in a 12-meter squared tiny living, fully equipped with a king-size bed, a kitchen, and a full-on bathroom. I decided that, why not recycle the plastics that we're collecting from the rivers and really show what we can do with it. So this has been a personal project, but really experiments that we can really make amazing things out of trash.
After completing his first house made of recycled plastics, Benchurib is looking to further develop the house model and mass produce it for natural disaster victims. The interior and furniture in the house, such as bed frame and kitchen cabinets, were also fully made of plastic cups and straws waste. The 28-year-old started a movement called Sungai Watch to clean up clogged rivers, littered beaches and illegal trash dumping sites around Bali and Java over the past 2 years in an effort to stop trash from going into the ocean. Benchurib's efforts highlight the upcycling trend on the Indonesian resort island that records more than 900,000 tons of trash being thrown out in 2021 alone, with the majority of the waste coming from households and businesses. One of Bali's high-end beach clubs is also pushing a zero-waste effort by creating its own furniture and decors out of trash. Chairs, necklaces, tissue boxes and coasters in the club were recreated in their facility by using kilograms of trash.
We actually set ourselves a goal to be zero waste to landfill, and so from that 1,200 kilograms, there's right around 50% that we can take care of ourselves. There's about 43% that has to go out to a waste management company, and then about 3% which does end up in the landfill, which we're trying to get down to 0% as soon as possible. It's really simply a process that's based on creativity. So we look at the waste that is generated and then we try to get creative about what we can do with it using science, design, different elements.
Bali's iconic beaches have in recent years been littered with plastic trash during the peak of the monsoon season as heavy winds and rain wash up pollution from neighboring Java Island. Local government has made efforts in reducing plastic waste in the resort island, such as through banning plastic bags in supermarkets.
The initiative that the Barney's people, the hotels and what most people around here are doing in terms of collecting and recycling waste, and I think we're moving in the right direction.
Plastics pollution threatens the extinction of marine species, and microplastics have now become part of the food chain, with environmental groups warning of severe consequences for life and the planet.
I was just talking to Sultan Al-Bahri there, saying what people are very creative in this world, working on those plastic, the waste, and coming up with the house, coming up with furniture and different items. What a wonderful creativity. We need to be like that. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. A water sustainability system is launched in Musandam Governorate at a cost exceeding 24 million Omani Riyals. A panel discussion in Muscat reviews the future of green economy and renewable energy in GCC countries. And the fourth conference of the General Federation of Oman's Workers reviews developing the federation's works and elects the chairman and members of the board of directors for the coming 4 years. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin. The news has been edited by Ral Al-Jaradaniya and studio director Sultan Al-Bahri, sound engineer Hilal Al-Rubi'i, our AutoCue operator Suleiman Al-Adwani, and myself, Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i, with the entire news team. We thank you for joining us, wish you a pleasant evening, and of course, good night.